This is what our producer was talking about, Tony. That phone should be on silent here.
No, that's a
this is a lack of professionalism from these people up top. These people up top got no respect for the podcast.
They just think that they can get by off the clout.
I have respect for the money.
This is why we're the foundation down here.
Yeah, we're the anchors.
Yeah, y'all keep being anchors because that's the money.
Look at Doey's face. That's pretension and tipping.
Doey looks like he's about
full of tip and pretension. Go ahead.
I am a DJ. You know, I do have a SoundCloud and a YouTube page. Okay.
And one other interesting aspect that I don't think any of us have touched on, and it's also part of the reason, because my advice would be just don't have kids, right?
Yeah.
Like when I was in college, my wife was on birth control. I was using condoms. We were making sure, damn sure, not to have children. Because even my uncle, shout out my uncle, his wife was on birth control. He was using condoms, got his wife pregnant. That shit happened. They had a kid, beautiful kid, my beautiful baby cousin, who watches the podcast. So shout out. And that shit happens. So still, even when you try the most, shit happens. So, I was trying the most and I was trying to get to a situation where I was trying to get to a situation.
Kid in college when you're at your poorest level of life.
Absolutely, the brokest time of my life, man. It's probably when I was a kid, right? And my parents, whatever the fuck they did, man. I had a lot of video games growing up. I had consoles, televisions. We had cable. We were watching pay-per-views, all that shit. I watch every WrestleMania, every Royal Rumble, every King of the Ring.
You were poor?
Every motherfucking SummerSlam. That shit was fucking lit. Shout out Bret Hart, my dog from fucking Alberta, Canada, all right?
With the sharpshooter.
The sharp motherfucking shooter, all right? And Shawn Michaels was also one of my favorite. And the manager screw job, fuck Vince McMahon, and fuck Shawn Michaels for that, all right?
What was
you don't understand? Go fuck a goat, because I don't give a fuck about you. Okay?
What was Sting's? Because Sting also did a sharpshooter, but he called it something else, right?
I don't remember. I don't fuck with Sting. That's some WCW shit. All right,
I was a WCW
out here. All right, we some WWF boys. Look at no boys face.
Wait 1 second. Nintendo 64, WCW versus NWO.
Revenge.
Y'all wasn't playing that?
I ain't play that shit.
That game was fire.
Wow.
I played it only because my cousin Eric and Everett, they fucking loved WCW and all that bullshit. I didn't fuck with that shit. I was fucking with my WWF WrestleMania 2,000, and I was fucking with WWF No Mercy. Okay, if you wanted to play your NWO versus the World, or you wanted to play your other bullshit, whatever the fuck it was called, with your fucking knockoff Rey Mysterio, Mil Mascaras and shit like that, go for it. Do your thing.
Are you trying to say that you're a fan?
Rey Mysterio Jr. was in WCW versus NWO at that point.
Yeah. And then where'd he go? He went to the place that mattered, baby. The place that, for all intents and purposes, invented wrestling. All right, we're going on a wrestling tangent. We're talking about real shit, okay?
I started in WCW, okay? God damn it. I wouldn't.
So you're a Goldberg fan? I bet Doey loved Goldberg.
He's a Goldberg.
My favorite
man.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Goldberg.
This thing was like
the only good thing that came out of WCW. They did three great things. All right, NWO, fire. The triple cage match, the cage on the cage on the cage, fire. I wanted that so bad. And they had like a triple ring Royal Rumble. Shit was insane. Fire. And WCW, you know what? It's capitalism at its finest, okay? They were the lesser one, the lesser child. And for a time, they were actually bigger than WWF, but the world didn't really know it.
What about that? What about that Nature Boy Ric Flair, though?
Woo! Hey, man. He's from WWF. He went to WCW. All right, y'all got your timelines off. No. What really happened was the WWF was a fucked up organization. That's why I say fuck the Manchester Screwjob, fuck Vince McMahon, and all that bullshit. They had a whole lot of problems. A lot of people got poached to WCW.
There's a butt coming.
So would you say that
No. That was around the era. Like 98, 99, around the Rock and the Stone Cold Steve Austin era. That was the era that I kind of fell off of watching wrestling.
The Rock was so corny. I like The Rock now, but he was so corny as a wrestler.
Yo,
that stupid eyebrow.
Yo, deadass in the hood. This is how I was, right? All the people, a lot of Puerto Rican people want to be white. A lot of the people, they were like some Stone Cold Steve Austin fans. And guess what? As a young brown man, baby. I saw The Rock as a fucking hero, baby. I was like, damn, all these fucking wrestlers my whole life have been white people. All right. And the only dark skinned man that fucking pulled up in the ring was like a fucking Papa Shango. He was a witch doctor from like Jamaica or some shit. He was a fucking stereotype. So and that motherfucker transitioned into becoming the Godfather. He was a pimp. That guy was a pimp. That was a black man who was a pimp. Like, those are the people that was like, all right, these are the only brown people, the black and brown people. And then when The Rock came around, it was like, damn.
What about Booker T?
Oh, that was after that. That was
WCW, man. Fuck that.
Booker T goes back to WWF, I think.
WWE. He went to WWF, but I think Booker T might be one of the longest reigning champions in WCW history. Shout out Booker T, all right, because he's named after Booker T. Washington, one of the legends in true American history for black people.
To go back to the whole Steve Austin shit, right? First off, Steve Austin was a legend.
Steve Austin whooped his ass in a supermarket. Epic. That's just what I wanted to say.
Because y'all want to say
these are perspectives from the top people on the podcast.
Because people want to, the upper echelons.
Remember my point is these light skinned people, and they love their trailer park as Steve Austin popping Budweiser.
Bottom feeders just need to pay attention to this upper shit real quick. All right, Steve Austin was the fucking man. 316 motherfucking game. Matter of fact, Mateo, you live in fucking Texas. Don't even disrespect Austin. He'll come to your house and fucking straight up
the Texas rattlesnake himself.
Motherfucker, he'll start calling some of your ass. And mind you, I was also a Rock fan. The fucking people's elbow, the eyebrow.
That's the eyebrow.
Wow. I got that shit.
I rock bottom my daughter every day.
Facts. They need that.
I swear to God. Ask my wife. My daughter be getting a little too rowdy.
This is what our producer was talking. This is what our producer was talking about, Tony. That phone should be on silent here.
No,
this is a lack of professionalism from these people up top. These people up top got no respect for the podcast.
I just think that they could get by off the clout.
This is why the money.
This is why we're the foundation down here.
Yeah, we're the anchors.
Yeah, y'all keep being anchors because that's the money.
Look at Doey's face. That's pretension and tipping.
Doey looks like he's about
full of tip and pretension. Go ahead.
I am a DJ. I do have a SoundCloud and a YouTube page. Okay.
He looks like he was about to sip some champagne and drink and eat some caviar or something up there.
That's on the bucket list. I due to certain circumstances, I've had the capability to travel around a little bit and try a lot of different food. I've never had caviar. I'd like to try some.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm good off that.
I've had roll on top of sushi.
Yeah, that shit don't count.
But that's not quite the same.
It's not the same level.
Yeah.
It's like on the same level as my passion fruit poppers. So what I was ultimately trying to say, because we got to keep the shit moving. The one of the arguments that I saw on Twitter that took me aback a little bit was that they were ultimately trying to say that people telling poor people to not have kids is equivalent. Literally equivalent is the modern day manifestation of eugenics. For people who don't know what eugenics are, it is just basically trying to solve for genetic
inadequacies.
Like things that you don't want, right? You're trying to solve for genetic, not deformities, but just shortcomings.
It's historically used by white supracists. Like I think that the term
namely the Nazis.
I think the term was invented by a Nazi scientist. Like it might not have been, but I was happily staying corrected. Like if someone comes at us in our comments,
yeah. I'm just saying that eugenics is most famously associated with Nazis for grabbing a bunch of Jewish people and gay people, and I say in the most respectful terms because I don't know the right words, but like what they would have categorized as like gypsy people and gay people and darker skinned people. They grabbed all these people, put them in concentration camps, basically try to excise them from society to try to create a master race through eugenics in a sense, which is basically if you remove all the undesirables from society, then the gene pool would be better. Right, you get rid of all these pieces of shit is like what their view is. Not my view. I'm just, I'm just repeating like the Nazi point of view. And from what I saw on Twitter, people feel like, granted, this podcast is full of people of color, and 2.5 of us feel like maybe poor people shouldn't have kids. They view us as a bunch of white people of privilege that are telling people not to have children, and we want eugenics and we want to wipe out like the black and brown and Hispanic races out of society. I don't necessarily agree with that, and maybe because I disagree, I'm painting it in a more like a bit of a straw man. But they're basically saying that the argument of telling a poor person not to have a child is equivalent to saying like we don't want black people because what was the fucking word? Proportionally, there are more black people and Hispanic people that are poor. So if you tell a poor person not to have a kid, you're basically telling mostly black and Hispanic people not to have a kid. And even when I say mostly, I'm still speaking strictly in percentages because I think if you grab the bulk of the people that are poor, the majority of them would be white anyways. I really think so. Like
I'd be curious to see the stats because I don't know whether you would be right or wrong on that one, honestly. And because I don't know whether you would be right or wrong, it makes me think that like there's a good chance that you're not.
Yeah, I'm just saying like if white people are 60% of society, and say like 10% of them are poor or whatever. And maybe that's a low number or whatever, but let's just say 10% of them are in poverty. That means that 6% of them are 6%. I'm fucking drunk. My math's off. Point is that from what I've read is that the majority of poor people are white. The difference is that disproportionately that like. When you look at the number, like it might be like, oh, the poverty rate is just like 20% or something. But then when you look at the black population and Hispanic population, you see, oh, the poverty rates are creeping at like the 40, 50, 60%. And it's like, damn, most of these people are poor. So when you tell poor people not to have kids, you're basically saying like, chop your population in half because y'all not having kids no more. And they're saying ultimately that it's like a form of eugenics. And
I think there's definitely some parallels. I don't think it's straight up eugenics. What sucks is that having kids is expensive, and it's very expensive. And kids are one of the most precious things in the world to me. I think that children should be protected, and I think they should be allowed to thrive, emotionally, physically, financially. Like I think that's what you owe to a child if you bring it into this world. This is a fucked up world. I think that you should do as much as you can to make that child's life easier. So yeah, my personal advice would remain the same, and I do think that advice does disproportionately affect people of color.
I think people might call me a socialist for saying this, but I think there should be more programs for helping out, children, and more money should be sunk into that if that's your choice. If you do want to have a child and you don't necessarily have the amount of money, I don't think you should be taken out of the candidacy. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I also agree. But sorry, I laughed in the middle of your comment because I agree, and I wouldn't want to be called a socialist. So I'm not a big fan of political labels and shit like that because that shit gets used to like fight against people and all that bullshit. But I think that based on my beliefs, I'd be most categorized with like a social democrat, which is basically like someone who's like on the left, not quite a socialist or a Democrat, not quite a socialist or communist, but that ultimately they want like more and more social like safety nets so that people could I don't want no one to starve to death or nothing crazy like that. I'm not no survival of the fittest ass, person. So, yeah, I don't know. So, one aspect of all of this that we were talking about, because a lot of the times our topics come from just us having conversations in different contexts. So we'll be having a conversation in a Discord, playing video games, or fucking on the PlayStation party and shit like that. But the conversation of addictions also came up, somewhat in the context of that. Also coupled with the fact that DMX had recently died due to having an overdose on drugs. Rest in peace, DMX.
Rest in peace, yeah.
Since we're doing multiple RIPs this episode, earlier I was talking about Trojan House, and this is now literally a deviation for me introducing a topic, but that's how we do on the one up. But RIP, my dog, motherfucking Kenny, motherfucking Marilys. We were in Trojan House. Kenny was the fucking homie. Rest in peace, Kenny. All right,
absolutely.
To break the fourth wall a bit here, Tony looks like he might be getting called into work. We might have to call this one early and keep our addiction podcast in the bag.
Yeah, because Tony definitely had the most, the hottest addiction take from our short conversation. I don't want to talk for the man.
100%. He was the one driving that conversation. So
I agree.
Yeah. So did you guys want to talk about
we could talk about.
We could talk about WCW versus WWF all
man.
day.
All right. You want to get into wrestling talks? Right?
Because I'm going to tell you, Goldberg was in fact the man.
I love him. I love, bro.
That music comes on. That music comes on, and he walks out, and they breathe smoke out through his nose when he's doing his little crazy flex.
I think
what was the Goldberg music?
Dun 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 dun. I don't know what the song actually was.
No. It's like Superman music.
It was like Godzilla's walking in. Dun, 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 dun.
If I'm not correct, his debut was against The Big Show, bro. When he lifted The Big Show straight up into the air on his shoulder and then dropped him back. Yo, when I saw that, bro, as a child, I was like, yo, who is this man? Because I've never seen The Big Show be picked up like that, like it was nothing.
The Big Show's a prime example. Shout out to The Big Show.
Wasn't he the Giant at that point?
No. The Giant, or one of them, yeah.
He was the fake Giant. Okay,
yeah.
He wasn't Andre the Giant.
This is my point. Okay, shout out to The Big Show, because it's always the Big Bag Show tonight. Okay, I fuck with The Big Show, and ultimately The Big Show came to WWF. You know what I'm saying? So WWF always wins.
I liked Kevin Nash. Also, you know what's interesting?
Yes,
Kevin Nash. He seems like he would be a total right wing alt right dude, and he actually has posted some pretty progressive things on his Twitter over the past year or so. So, big shout out to Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash, he was in WWF before WCW.
I think so, and then he came to WCW.
What the fuck was his name?
He was part of the NWO takeover of WCW.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was a lot of because I remember Razor Ramon, who the WCW wimps, as I call them, the WCW wimps, they know my man Razor Ramon, who lost the first ladder match in WWF history against Shawn Michaels. They know my man as, I believe his name is Scott Hall. It's just a white man in brown face for all intents and purposes. But for me as a kid, man, I looked at Razor Ramon with a toothpick, and I was like, yo, my fucking brother.
Dude,
right?
Scott
He's
had
holding it down.
He had that toothpick in his mouth, and he had that greasy, gross-ass hair just slicked all the way back. That man looked like he was definitely going to betray you. You should not trust that man. He was 100% going to betray you at some point.
Some would say that's racist. Are you saying that toothpicks and greasy hairs equate to
he had a mannerism. That man didn't walk. He slinked across.
He was the WWF World Champion, okay? I might add, okay? And
By the way, I heard Bad Bunny was on WWF last night and he fucking killed it. Everybody is saying that Bad Bunny needs to be in WWF now.
Who's saying that?
Trap singer?
Last night, apparently.
The Spanish trap singer?
Yes, apparently his appearance last night on the WWF was like everybody on Twitter is going ape shit about it.
Why?
He was on, I guess, you know how they've been having Snoop Dogg. They had Bad Bunny before.
Guest appearances.
Yeah,
for years they've had many guest appearances. Like I remember during the what the fuck was the green and black? There was X-Pac. There was Shawn Michaels was a part of the crew. I can't remember that. It was in my opinion, it was their answer
Generation
to
X.
NWO. Yeah,
Generation
X. It was
X.
their answer to NWO because NWO was way better.
By the way, Tony, welcome to all the glitters is gold, our Goldberg podcast. It's our new spin-off series from the One Upcast.
Goldberg.
Yeah, ever since you took a phone call, we just went full wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
I can't leave you kids alone.
Pooch is a big wrestling fan. All right, people might not know that about me. All right, before I was a grown-ass man and believed in nothing but science and facts, I was a firm believer that only the pieces of shit in the world wanted to hold wrestling down and wanted to treat it as a fake sport, okay? These are the greatest athletes in the history of man. Fuck the Greeks, fuck the Olympics, fuck the NWA.
Well, I don't know why they think it's fake.
No one is more impressive than watching one of the Hardy Boys do a motherfucking Swanton Bomb off the top of the fucking ladder, okay? Nothing was more impressive.
I mean, the slaps and the punches, I can maybe see that, but back in the days,
slaps.
Like now, if you watch wrestling now, they pull that you can pull the punch. You see that
nowadays. That's been always.
Back then, bro, they had broken glass shards on the fucking floor, fucking thumbtacks, and niggas was getting flipped and shit on that fucking stage. Bro,
you're thinking of one of the dopest wrestling federations, ECW. Which we haven't brought up.
No, Mick Foley in WWF also did that shit.
Foley did that shit.
He was bringing some of that big dick energy from ECW.
Yo, Mick Foley was such a good fucking actor. As a child, I did not separate his characters. I knew it was the same person, but I always felt like it was somebody else because he had the lumberjack guy. Mm-hmm. Then he had the Sacco dude, and then he had another one.
Didn't he play Mankind for a little while too? He was a secret Mankind.
Mankind. Wait, the lumberjack and one more.
Yeah, he had a hippie. It was Dude Love.
Dude Love.
I'm pretty sure he had 5 characters. One of which we named 4. I'm missing one, I think.
That's wild.
But yeah, he had Cactus Jack. He had Mankind. He had Dude Love. He had Cactus Jack. And there was one more.
So we've talked about a lot of legends here, but can we talk about how bad Donald Trump is at faking hits whenever he was on the WWF? That man is trash for so many reasons, but he made the WWF worse every time he was on it. There was so much stupid gimmicky bullshit with that. He made
everything worse. Not only was he a piece of shit in terms of how horrible he was at selling anything he did on the WWF. I remember, like it was yesterday, Mike Tyson was going to get into a fight with Holyfield, right? Because I'm a boxing fan, and Tony wants to put boxing down. You know what? Fuck Tony.
When the fuck did I put boxing down?
This is a mutiny, baby. This is your problem. You haven't even had a drink and you already forgot the conversation. You tried to put boxing down, I'm pretty sure, and I forgot the conversation, but I remember all your infractions. I want to say as I brought up football about proving something. You were talking I could prove that the Cowboys won, blah, blah, blah. The Cowboys ain't won shit in so many motherfucking years. The last thing I remember the time that the Cowboys were relevant when the Green Bay Packers spanked that ass in 1997 or 8 or 9.
He said that all boxing matches are rigged.
And guess what happened in the great year of 1998?
Yeah, no, because he said
New York motherfucking Giants, the little Giants, coached by none other than the fucking Honey I Shrunk the Kids man.
The legend, Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis,
Giants,
okay?
Nigga, how about that?
Yeah, right.
The Giants.
You say
fuck
fuck
the little Giants.
You had steroids.
Fuck all
you had
the Giants.
Steroids. You had little Hercules.
Over all y'all.
You had all the things. You had the coaches.
Fuck
you had the
Giants,
support.
nigga. How about that?
You had the
fuck
greatest
the Eagles.
You had the money.
The Redskins,
you had the
actually,
dollars.
the Washingtons.
Go back.
All of them.
Yeah, fuck them. But watch this.
Keep watching the greatest.
Watch the
Keep
facts.
watching.
The kid from the Casper movie, alongside Rick Moranis, alongside the kid who couldn't fucking catch a ball, so he had to put glue on his hands. These motherfuckers whipped the Cowboys. Okay,
the annexation of Puerto Rico, bud.
Yep, they fucking ran the annexation of motherfucking Puerto Rico. Okay, one of the few times I was proud of Puerto Rico, only because it was an association with the New York football.
So you're just disrespecting all Puerto Ricans now.
Well, my wife's Dominicans from New York, and my child's a Puerto Rican, so I have New York, right.
They want to just shit on the Puerto Ricans because they said that the Puerto Ricans in New York back in the days just shut on every Hispanic person.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican single-handedly started a rumor that Dominican people don't wear socks.
I want to welcome all our new listeners to the Rick Moranis cast, where we talk about race relations between Dominican people and Puerto Rican people for some reason.
They said that they started that you guys didn't wear socks with your shoes?
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Go ask any Puerto Rican. Do Dominicans wear socks? They'll all say no.
I've got a related topic to that. There was a thing that popped up on Twitter, and it's a thing that I've talked with some of my buddies about. There is a claim on Twitter, and there's a lot of white people that come out and co-sign this statement that white people don't wash their legs.
Oh my God! No, I had this conversation with a couple of white coworkers, and they don't wash their legs.
It's true. That's wild.
Yeah, there were a bunch of people that came out. There were a bunch of people that came out.
It's not true. Let's not go down that route.
He's co-signing with you.
It's not a fact, but I've seen.
No. I don't like that. That's some Tony shit. Tony, you'll make a statement. Tony will co-sign it times 20, and then it's like, okay, so that's Pucho's belief now. It's like, nah. I'm just saying that I had this conversation with a couple of my white coworkers.
Dirty bird.
And there was a plurality of them. I would say even a majority of them, they didn't wash their legs. And I was shocked because not only do I wash my legs, a lot of people don't use washcloths, all right? For a better part of my life, we wash ourselves with any number of things that we have on hand. That is the game. Shout out to my motherfucking cousin Will. All right, he showed up with this fucking Walmart or this Publix glove. The shit is made of pure exfoliation magic. Okay, you want your skin silky smooth? Shout out to what I call the motherfucking Power Glove. Not to be confused with the whack ass Nintendo Power Glove. We're talking about the motherfucking Power Glove.
You take that back. That shit won the tournament. And you know what? That shit, it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Actually, I also want to shout out
the Wizard, the Wiz. The Wiz is with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's a wizard, right?
On Pucho's thing, which might be a double up. Pucho also introduced me to the fucking Power Glove in the gym because we used to go to the gym.
No.
What?
I showed you to the loofah.
No, I always brought the loofah.
Nah.
Yes.
We didn't have Power Gloves in the gym. I remember because I specifically purchased. I remember it was a was it right guard?
I don't know.
I want to say it was right guard. Old Spice. It was an Old Spice package. It was an Old Spice package. It came with 2 different body soaps and loofah that had a handle. It was supposed to be manly, very fucking manly. And I used to wash my whole body with that. You put me on the loofah, Tony. You got your shit off fucked.
You put me on the Power Glove. Puerto Ricans. I had the loofah. You put me on the Power Glove.
You talking gym talks, 24-hour fitness. I didn't have no Power Glove.
Damn. That's your daughter.
You hear that, baby?
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
She got the lungs. Wow. Well,
so what's up, Tony?
I do want to say fuck that Power Glove from Nintendo. And everybody keeps forgetting about the best wrestler that is also so demoralizing to people's fucking life after he does this move. But everybody knows and loves Rikishi. And when them butt cheeks goes on your face.
Is that the butt cheek thing?
Oh my God, bro. Them butt cheeks were black and sweaty and smelly.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was fake at the end of the day. Somebody was getting ass cheeks pressed against their face.
That shit was a destruction to anybody's face. Anybody's face. Rikishi was the man for that. Was the man. That shit made my day. Just saying.
See, this is where the WCW
someone brought up Steve Nash.
This is where the WCW divide is, because I like my wrestlers growing up were like Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Diamond Dallas Page.
Some stripper.
DDP?
Yeah, the DDP was fire. I'll give you that.
What about the 3D boys, Dudley boys, or whatever?
Weren't they like with
Not in the same
Rikishi?
breath as fucking Diamond
They were
Dallas Page.
WWF people or WWE. Was it WWE or WWF?
The WWF Dudley Boys. They were in the famous. There was a trifecta of hardcore wrestlers. There was the Dudley Boys. There were the Hardy Boys, and there was the other team that I don't believe had a name, but it was Chris and Edge.
Yeah, they were
originally part of the Ministry of Darkness. That was a gang of motherfuckers created.
Hardy Boys, weren't they the Hardy Boys? No.
Undertaker himself. The Undertaker took Stephanie McMahon hostage. And in the hypest moment, shout out to the Bodys who love Stone Cold Steve Austin. And one of the hypest moments in WWF history, okay? Stone Cold Steve Austin came out in the middle of when Stephanie McMahon was supposed to get like some type of, her soul was about to be sacrificed to Satan because you know the Undertaker was all about that bullshit at that point.
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin came out and he just straight up Stone Cold Stunner 20 people in a row and saved Stephanie McMahon's life. Yeah, we'll find this video and overlay it if need be, if people don't know the moment, all right? But this motherfucker, I don't fuck with Stone Cold Steve Austin, even though the Stunner was fire, because I was down with my black and brown people, you know? I wanted nothing but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson energy, okay? But when Stone Cold Steve Austin came out and he Stone Cold Stunnered like 20 motherfuckers in a row to save Stephanie McMahon, and I mind you, Stephanie McMahon's part of the 1%. You know, she's the daughter of Vince McMahon, who I said fuck Vince McMahon for the Mancha screw job, because my boy from Alberta, Canada, never deserved to lose his title. That shit was an inside job. I'll say, right?
They probably use the same reps from the boxing matches you watch. Shit up.
One thing about Stone Cold Stunner, the way that The Rock used to sell the Stone Cold Stunner, where he used to do a flip after he got Stone Cold Stunner, is the most craziest shit ever.
The most ridiculous shit is when you see The Rock, he used to stretch his arms out. So not only he got stunnered, not only did he flip back, he would stretch his arms out. You'd go, this man is in full handstand mid flip. The shit was impressive. The Rock was the man. The Rock would sell any motherfucking move. I remember The Rock's debut. I remember it. I was so fucking hyped.
I remember.
He had these stupid fucking tassels on his biceps. He had on like a colorful. Maybe my mind's all fucked up. But they used to call the boy Rocky Maivia, some shit like that.
Yeah,
he was not The Rock.
The Rock came after the Versace silk shirts.
Even Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm pretty sure they called him the Ringmaster at some point. Like a lot of shit in wrestling, they go through a lot of iterations. They'll introduce a wrestler, the character, the persona doesn't go very well. Shout out to Persona. I'm playing Persona 5. I just beat Kamoshida's Palace. The persona doesn't go very well, so you got to transition to a different persona. You know what I'm saying?
I also
same as when you're in the middle of a battle with the boss and persona, and it's like, the lightning's not their weakness, so you got to switch the persona, hit them L1 R1 actions, blah 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 blah. Pick some of that Aggie flow, hit them with a fire.
I do think that
same way the WWF would the same way they'll kill Rocky Maivia, they'll kill the Ringmaster, they'll kill a variety of characters to keep a character more not recent's not the word I'm looking for, relevant. Both to keep a character more relevant, and also just if a character didn't hit, they just want to try another character. So like you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, you got The Rock, like one of the big wrestlers, Shawn Michaels, he was tag team partners with Marty Jannetty. Before he was a singles, they were the tag team motherfucking champions. And not only did Stone Cold Steve Austin steal his woman, which I'm not saying like women are an object to be stolen and things like that, but that was the story that they were portraying. I'm just giving you the story.
You guys are forgetting the most important
Stone Cold
part.
Steve Austin kicked Marty Jannetty, sweet chin music out the motherfucking barbershop window. Okay?
Y'all are forgetting.
People don't remember that shit. I was hyped. Okay, he went out the barbershop window, crash, glass, and then Stone Cold, and then because Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels went on to win a variety of things. He don't want to Royal Rumble.
You are
he got
fucking
stolen.
out of control right now. You're forgetting the most magical moment. I think it is when Steve Austin and The Rock joined forces and started whooping asses left and motherfucking right. Stone Cold Steve Austin with the Stone Cold Stunner, and then the Rock Bottom and the People's Elbow. All that shit came together, straight destroying. But then it was shortly lived.
I love that you just named 2 moves by The Rock. Rock Bottom and the People's Elbow.
Yeah, because he needs 2.
You're showing your true colors. The Rock is the best.
He needs 2.
You don't give a fuck about the Stone Cold Stunners. All your words are George Soros fucking propaganda. I don't want to hear it.
He needs 2.
I don't want to hear it.
He needs 1. One move is stronger than both those 2. He needs 2 to make the strength of this one move. Because not only is he kicking them in the fucking stomach, he's also hitting them with the shoulder lean on their ass.
I'm telling you, we have slept on the greatest wrestler
Don't even
of all
say
time.
Goldberg.
If we're speaking RIPs to people too, no man in wrestling is more deserving of this. The greatest of all time, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Because that man was king of the promos. You ever watch those old Macho Man Randy Savage promos? That man was batshit insane crazy, and he was just the greatest. He was the absolute best for those batshit insane promos he would do.
Single-handedly made me want to eat endless amounts of Slim Jims. At that age, I didn't even know what a Slim Jim was. And those commercials, he used to bend them in half, but it would make like
this man loves
an
Slim
electricity Jim. That I was like, I don't know, is that like a glow stick or something? Like it popping or what the fuck? He's like, snap into it. He's like, snap into a Slim Jim. Them shits don't fucking snap. I don't know what he's talking about. And that motherfucker's a racist. His character's a racist. He's straight up trying to be like a Chicano. He got no business being Chicano. He ain't brown.
Likes him.
And he ain't from LA. All right. His name is Randy. Okay.
The promo where he's talking about the cream of the crop, and he's over there with Gene, whatever that dude's name is from WWF.
He was married to Princess Elizabeth,
and he just keeps pulling out these little like creamer cups and putting them on like his head and on like Gene's head. This is one of the greatest promos of all time.
It's terrible.
The cream rises to the top, baby.
Shout out to Randy Savage because he went to WCW early. He was one of the first. So I'll give a shout out. My dog knew what time it was. Same.
Also, fuck Hulk Hogan, but his Hollywood Hogan character that came over to the WCW was such a great villain. He was such a fantastic villain over on WCW.
Yeah, he was borderline a villain on WWF because he just won so much that the people hated him. So he went to WCW as Hollywood Hogan. Hollywood is the epitome of everything to the elites, the global elites of the Hollywood people.
Y'all forgetting about the major Hispanic.
Him and Eric Bischoff. They were the biggest piece of shit in wrestling. But
Eric Bischoff was the owner of WCW, right?
Yeah, I think he became the owner. But man, they were so good. Like they were such good villains during that time period.
Yeah. Y'all forgetting Eddie Guerrero.
Facts.
Nobody forgetting Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I ain't mentioned
him.
So
wasn't shit him until the other day, okay? And I fuck with the Latino Heat, okay?
Don't sound like
Latino Heat is the homie. He the homie. But let's keep it real. I had no skin in the game by the time he became champ, okay? Eddie Guerrero, I remember I had quite the stint, maybe a cool 5-6 years. I worked at an elementary school. Shit was weird. Because for some reason, kids are fucking obsessed with wrestling. Yeah. All this shit I'm telling you, I'm about to be 31 any day now. I'm a grown fucking man. I haven't watched wrestling since I was like 9 years old. But I'm telling you this shit with the full passion and glory. Like I've lived this shit every day of my life. Okay. Because that's the little kid in me. Kids fucking love wrestling, and I don't fully understand it.
I vibed with Rey Mysterio so hard. He lost the magic the second he lost the mask, though. Like when he was wearing that mask in WCW and flying 500 feet off the top rope doing these backward moonsaults and whatnot.
It was because maybe you liked him because you guys were like the same height and you thought maybe you can also fly and dagger onto people like Rey Mysterio. Maybe that's why he was like he's fighting for us little people. You and Pucho.
Why would you think he could fly the same height? What makes you think that?
I don't appreciate this heightism from these people up top.
From the top,
just shitting down.
Not my height, but
just shitting down on us tailies down here.
Yeah,
you know that we're the ones that hold it together.
Wow.
Fuck the tailies.
Wow.
I actually want to see that show.
I don't even have real. You're a real Wolford ass motherfucker. You know what I'm
saying? keep them where they're at. That's it.
Damn. Keep them. All right.
Nah, that's a little beast.
I don't like that kind of energy.
I bring it up.
I would just say those words, Tony. I'm gonna be on my late and shit. I'm gonna come up front and I'm gonna create a revolution. Okay.
Give him them
big
big eyes.
Mutiny. We already discussed a mutiny earlier. There will be a mutiny.
Bucho, give him them big eyes. Give him the David Dig eyes.
I ain't going nowhere. Just like my boy said in The Wolf of Wall Street. What is Uncle Fester doing here in the spot right now? I didn't think
giving you them David Dig eyes, man.
The tailies got rights, okay? The tailies got rights.
The tailies. The tailies.
Tony, you wanna wrap us up and get us out of this
ugly face motherfucker to get off my
I didn't hear anything y'all say because I took my headphones off. David Diggs is the homie, okay? Shout out Hamilton and tell Doughy to go fuck a goat. You know why? Because on the previous conversation, this motherfucker Doughboy done said, I don't want. I watched the first. I watched the first 20 seconds of Hamilton and I didn't like it. I only watched 20 seconds and I didn't like it.
I also want to co-sign on that.
And then I don't fucking cut me off. And then he said,
do my dope shit.
No. I'm on my dope. I'm mimicking Doughboy. You can't mimic me the fuck. And then he's like, and you haven't even played Persona. And guess what? I'm playing Persona, motherfucker. My hours say that I'm about 11 hours in. Guess what, Mateo? I'm still in the tutorial.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, fuck that. That's what I was telling Doughboy. You know what? He wants nothing but tutorials. He's like, you know what, though? It's teaching you how to play the game. The game is so good that it has to teach you how to play. It's like, dude, it's been 11 hours.
That's much longer? That's a real good Doughy. If I close my eyes, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Guess what? I'm going to go take a piss. How about that?
Well, this was one hell of an episode. Thank you to all the listeners and the viewers here that stuck through the. Oh, here we go. Fucking Doughboy's cut off. Go, Dough.
Is he got to cut off?
No. What is with these fucking fingers?
No, I'm not cutting off. But let me cut off on my one thing.
This is what he does all podcasts.
That's my
hand. Raise my hand to speak. Fuck out of here, Dough. Go ahead. Cut off, King.
No,
He did the 2. Did you just hit the 2?
Mm-hmm.
That's the classic. What's up with the 2?
I don't know what that meant. Why did that
all
mean?
Peace here? All peace.
All peace. Yo, they were saying world peace, so you got to be quiet. When I put up the peace signs, there's no more words spoken. That shit is weird. Elementary school, there was some weird moves. They had a power. That too. When you saw your teacher, when Miss Vance, shout out to Miss Vance, Southside Jamaica Queens, homie. PS 182. Miss Vance used to put up the peace sign. The whole gang used to shut up.
Cut it.
Miss Vance made me fall in love with the solar system. Shout out Miss Vance.
All right, I just wanted to send a quick shout out to everyone that watches this podcast, whether it be family, friends, people that come here randomly. Like, we really appreciate everything, all the commenting, all the liking, everything that you guys do, all the feedback. Thank you for that. Like, it really means a lot. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. This is like a very, very much a therapeutic thing for me. And I love you guys. And thank you to everyone that comes here and appreciates, whether it be 5 to 10 minutes to 15 minutes or, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I don't really good shit there though. This is really, I'm about to start firing y'all motherfuckers because this is starting to be a fucking takeover. I'm not liking this
fire
shit.
me if I do that.
I'm about to fire.
If I cut you off in the
doing an outro, and this nigga comes in with his own outro.
Yeah.
That's a one up on a one down. That's why
one up on the one down.
That's why I canceled you. That's why I canceled you early. 8 minutes in, I canceled you. You left hand motherfucker. You are not my right hand, Mateo. You're also not my right hand. Go back to Pucho.
That's good, man. I'm holding it down here at the bottom. You know what? We got no discontent down here at the bottom.
Fuck y'all.
We'd be happy about all the fucking. Those motherfuckers are being fed bugs, and at one point they hinted they were being fed human bodies.
Facts, but like the boy said, piggybacking. Thank you to all the listeners, and we really do appreciate all your comments and all that and feedback. And don't worry, as time goes on, this will get bigger and better and we would do much more of scolding on Doughboy's part with his bladder issues. Maybe one day he might find out that he has a bladder issue and get it fixed. I don't know.
Yo, what if there was a
guys,
pill? What if there was a pill you
stop?
could take that you didn't have to deal with that? What if there was a pill you could take?
We need to see a doctor's note, Doey.
I'll take it.
Oh, okay. So then why are you so mad at us? We're concerned with your health.
Facts.
We love you, man.
We love you, though.
Doey, I've been friends with you since the tender age of 12. Some people don't realize
12? Was it 12?
Yes. That's how ages work.
I didn't know it was. I didn't know I was 12 years old when I met y'all.
When every day that passes,
I was younger when I met you.
A little bit.
I was 11.
You was. Oh, I met you when you was 11.
Yeah,
shit.
6th grade.
Y'all friends before me. See, y'all could eat that.
That's a 1-up on Pucho.
Yeah, fuck. I don't give a fuck. Right? Me and Mateo, we're deeper friends. Even though some people know people longer, we're at the bottom. All right, baby.
Yeah,
we're the grounder folk.
Yeah, you guys are.
We
deeper.
Connect on different levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you guys are deeper. You guys are like mole people. You're small and you're.
I took a trip and I visited Mateo.
Yeah.
Me and Mateo went to the bar. Solo Dolo Pueblo. Shout out to Vising. His name is actually Assassin, but it's a lot of V's in there. But it's confused me over the years. Shout out to the homie. Solo Dolo Pueblo, like Solo Dolo, like Manolo. Like, because some people don't realize Scarface done killed the homie, all right? And Scarface was all alone in the world.
Facts.
People don't peep that shit.
I thought you were getting us out of this, Tony.
No.
Well, thank you again. This is the 1-Up podcast. And hopefully we get better at the outro. But I like it, though. Thank you again for watching. I am your host, El Caballo, a.k.a. Tony, here with Mateo, and Pucho. Peace be with you all.
Just stay quiet. His fan says so.